Oh my god, there's so much news happening right now for Magic, and it's one thing after the other. I still haven't recorded the video that I want to do on the Final Fantasy things, and still we just got news about the cons of Tarkir remake. Well, it's Tarkir Dragonstorm, which is what the actual name of the new set is. Pictures of the products, the pre-cons, the booster packs, the booster boxes and bundles have been revealed just now, like a few minutes ago, and I figured we'll take a look at this together. But then there's even more, because Edge of Eternities has also been revealed, so we'll take a look at those pre-cons and we'll speculate a little bit about how those decks will play based on the color combo, the name, and if there are some characters on the art that we could potentially recognize from other sets earlier. I think we should start with the kind of boring parts. There will be a bundle apparently for Tarkir Dragonstorm. That is a very normal product for every set, where you get a bunch of lands, some in foil, some non-foil. It's kind of a pre-release kit on steroids, where you get a lot of booster packs to get you going into building. It gives you a foundation pretty solid as well for building with the new cards. It gives you a good land base, so you're kind of secured there compared to a pre-release set. Obviously, a lot of events would give you the lands, basic lands that you would need to make your deck viable, but anyhow, that's kind of how a bundle works. Then we're getting play boosters, as to be expected. We are also getting collector boosters. Not too much news there. There will also be serialized cards in these collector boosters. Those will only be in the collector boosters, which is kind of the point of these. Having the rare treatments, the foils, the fancy full arts and stuff be more common in the collector boosters, because it's for the collectors. If you want the cards but you don't want the fancy bling, you get the normal boosters. However, the serialized cards haven't been revealed what they are, as far as I know right now as I'm recording this, just minutes after this embargo has been lifted. Aetherdrift also having just one serialized card. It did kind of feel like they were just forcing some value into the set, as the set wasn't really anticipated too much. Like, not that many people are heavy into vehicles, especially in Commander. It's a very slow mechanic. It's a slow format already, so yeah, unless you're playing a very specific synergy, that's not really sought after. However, with Dragonstorm, Tarkir Dragonstorm, we're going back to wedges, we're going dragons, it's going to be good. Then let's look at the pre-cons, and this is where it gets interesting. We have Asban armor, which is white, black, and green. Play defenders, turn toughness into power. So maybe this is a wall tribal or defender tribal, where you could deal damage based on the toughness of the creature. Would be very cool in white and green, which has access to a lot of big butts. Not much I can tell from how it's going to play, to be honest. It's going to be dragon themed, I'm pretty sure. Wedges are back, like I said, as well. These includes a collector booster sample pack in them as normal, and 2 legendary traditional foils, a commander and an alt commander. Then there's also Jeskai Striker. This one has Narset on the art, so I've also seen a leak already of the Narset card this art is from. This looks to be a storm commander, where you want to cast as many spells as possible, so I'm guessing this deck will be a spellslinger deck. It's also called Jeskai Strikers, so that makes sense. Cast extra spells, flurry spell effects, so you're gonna probably find some prowess effects, you're gonna find some storm effects as well. Then there's Sultai Arisen, which is black, green, and blue. Fill the graveyard, return with zombie druids, so you're gonna have green and black. Doing zombies will be kind of perfect here, especially with druids. I guess that also makes sense. You're gonna have some self-mill, I'm guessing, and then you're gonna have some recursion that turns whatever's been recurred into zombies, which that's cool. That makes sense for Sultai as well. And with Aetherdrift having a lot of support for zombies, this is a very good thing to come somewhat after it as well, in my opinion. Then there's Mardu Surge, and this looks really cool. Make attacker tokens, sacrifice them for value. This is right up my alley. I love tokens. My new Goblin deck is all about making tokens and sacrificing them, so there might be stuff in here that would make my decks go really well. So I might pick this deck up and scrap it for parts. In itself, it looks really promising. Mardu is a really strong color wedge as well. This is looking really cool. Next one is Timur Roar in green, blue, and red. So this is ramp mana and summon dragons. These are the best colors for dragons in my opinion, and also some of the best colors for ramping. There's very explosive spells like Seething Song in red, for example, that gives you a lot of mana really quickly. Obviously, Simic, green and blue, is gonna have amazing support for ramping fast, which you would need to cast a lot of dragons. So thematically here, it's great. I think this would probably be the deck that I would pick up, honestly. The other one I would only pick up just to make my other decks that I already have better, but this I think would be the deck I'd enjoy playing. So all in all, we're getting 5 precons, which is really nice to see, especially, again, I'm comparing to Ether Drift, but Ether Drift only had 2. That's a little weak, and especially when it's a set that not really vibe with a lot of people. This is something I know a lot of people are looking forward to, as it's one of the universes within sets that actually feel like good old Magic the Gathering with high fantasy. There's dragons. That's kind of the whole point of Tarkir. It's the war against the dragons, etc. This is really cool. Oh, and also, I almost forgot to mention that for Tarkir Dragonstorm, there will be pre-release kits, but they're all themed for the wedges. So you will have an Asban pre-release kit, a Jeskai one, a Sultai one, a Mardu one, and a Temur one. For all the wedges, they're doing specific pre-release kits. I don't think we've ever had that before, but that looks really cool. So if you have a favorite wedge, you could pick out a tailored pre-release kit, making it easier for you to plan out your strategies and synergies based on what you know about the colors and the wedge already, which I think is kind of amazing, but also kind of limits what cards you could get, what potential chase cards you could get, which is, you know, part of the fun with opening Magic cards. Then there's Edge of Eternities. This will also have a bundle. Not much more to say there other than what I've already said before. And there will be a Play Boosters box you could get. You could also get a Collector Boosters. However, this doesn't seem to have a serialized card. At least there's nothing advertised on the box itself, which is all I have to go from. There's for sure going to be really cool cards. We're going to space. Actually, we're going into the void in between planes, as far as I know. Tessera is going to be there. It's going to be very interesting. He's on the box art, so he better be there. As someone who loves artifacts and artifact synergies, I have it in any deck I can almost. This is probably going to be a deck that will help me out a lot. So let's look at the precons. There's only 2 precons here, sadly. The first one is a black, red, green one called World Shaper, where you sacrifice lands and grow back stronger. So this might be a landfall deck where you sacrifice your lands as well. Maybe lands that when you sacrifice them, they buff something else up, or potentially a ton of utility lands. That could also be. Green and black together has a lot of recursion. There's a lot of self-mill and value from self-mill there, especially with lands already, like Gitrog, etc. The next one is Counter-Intelligence, and this one I feel is going to be the precon I would want. This is Boost Artifacts, Proliferate Counters. So this is going to be artifacts and counters, which is why I love artifacts already. How easy it is to move counters, to put counters on stuff, equipment, boost other things. Proliferating in this blue, red, white deck is going to be great, I think. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to the most, and also stay tuned for my video on the Final Fantasy commanders and how I would build them. I'm going to go over Ishtola more than the other ones because that's the card I am 100% getting. I've already pre-ordered the deck, so I'm really looking forward to it. Also, there will be a deck tech coming on my competitive deck Kinnan very soon as well, hopefully, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I love how you're talking about Magic and there's only 6 cards in the background that are Magic. The rest is just Pokemon shit.
Yeah.
Fake fan.